Hey everybody, welcome back to Doom II Project Brutality. I am your host, Willie B. Coyote, and in the last video, I talked about the correct way to do Wolfenstein and Resident Evil movies. As always, let's get the self-promotion right out of the gate. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me grow, and hopefully get paid as well. Also, make sure to hit the notification icon so you never miss an upload, and share the video while you're at it as well. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So, I was gone the last week because Netflix had dropped their. I haven't played this game in over a week because Netflix dropped their live-action adaptation of One Piece. Now, full disclosure, I was not excited when I heard Netflix was going to be adapting One Piece after the really shoddy job they did of with Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, and Bleach. Like, Netflix does not have a good track record of adapting anime into live action, especially with Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is like the most egregious example, I think. But, I lost track of what I was saying there. But, basically, like, so when I found out that Netflix was going to be doing a live-action adaptation of One Piece after the disaster that was Cowboy Bebop, I was just like, oh, good God, here we go again. And, like, yeah, my impression was going to be, oh, it's probably going to suck just as much, you know? And I wouldn't have given it the time of day, but then, I learned that, unlike their other attempts at adapting it, this time around, the creator of the original manga, Oda, was going to be directly involved in the production process, which was an interesting thing to me because, like, you know, that suggests, because one of the biggest problems with Netflix's attempts at doing anime and live action is that they always deviate too far from the source material. Oh, before I continue, this is another one of the Doom Project Brutality weapons, which is my favorite Project Brutality weapon upgrade. It's the quad barrel super shotgun. Oh, this thing is amazing. It is just like, this is probably one of the most overpowered weapons in a mod full of overpowered weapons. Like, you can do the standard. It's got a standard mode where it's basically like you fire off a super shotgun twice before you have to reload, but then it's got a alternate fire mode where it goes into full blast where it fires all of them at once. You can also fire one at a time as well by hitting right click, which is really cool. You can also go into demonic breath, which is dragon's breath. But I don't want to set myself on fire too much, so I'm going to keep it set to shells, ordinary shells. Oh, frick. But as I was saying, so Netflix generally doesn't really follow the source material that well when they adapt stuff. I mean, just take a look at The Witcher and their other attempts at anime and live action. But this time around, they were getting Oda, the original creator, directly involved in the production process, which was really, really cool. You know, but even then, I was still skeptical. Then I found out then it came out that not long after production started, Oda had actually requested that a whole bunch of scenes be reshot, and that was another thing that stood out as well. So that said, if he was really that hands-on, that means he saw some stuff they were doing that he didn't like and asked them to reshoot it and rewrite it and rework it, which is a major good indicator that maybe this wasn't going to be so bad after all. And so it finally came out. So fast forward to last week, and the show finally does come out. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that not only did the show not suck, but it was actually pretty good. Like, it was actually really, really decently good. So, basically, the live-action One Piece show... here's another shotgun upgrade. It's the magazine for the pump shotgun. And it's basically just a speed reloader. It allows you to reload the standard Doom shotgun faster. So, let's take out these guys here. And you can reload the shotgun almost instantly. But as I was saying, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? I got sidetracked there. So let me check the map here. Okay, this was not the way I needed to go just yet. I remember the first time I came through on this, playing through on this mod, I'd forgotten how to do this level, and I was stuck on just the main bit without realizing where I needed to go. Which was kind of frustrating, but you know, eventually I figured it out. But as I was saying about live action One Piece, like, the first thing they did was they did actually follow the story, the source material really, really well. Now, granted, there are a lot of changes, not a lot of changes, but some changes made to help with the transition from live action to from the manga and anime into live action, which was a wise decision, I think. Because the problem with a lot of live action anime adaptations is they can generally tend to go a bit too over the top with how they express do the character expressions. Like, for instance, what was the, like, and it just falls flat because, like, it doesn't go well. Like, you'll have moments in anime where everyone is shouting with speed lines, and that just doesn't translate well to live action. So they just kind of ratcheted things back in terms of character expressions, and like, I'm not really sure how to describe it, I guess, but, you know, like, they didn't go too over the top with the performances. Like, don't get me wrong, they got all the performances, and they kept the performances within the spirit of the characters, which was a very good decision, in my opinion. And it ended up translating a lot better than it would have otherwise. And moving on from that, God, love this shotgun. But anyways, moving on from that, another thing they did that was cool, which was they used practical sets. They didn't film it on a soundstage with CGI, which I thought was fantastic. Like, that was a majorly good creative decision. Oh boy, here we go. Barrels of fun. This level lags me out so bad because, you know, you spawn in this mess, and since I'm running so many mods, if so much as one of these barrels goes off, it lags my computer out like you would not believe. And there it goes! There it goes! Ah! No! Run! Oh, phew. Almost died for a second there. Anyways, frick. Lost a lot of my health and armor there. Now, where was I? Unironically, I really hate this level. Right, there it is. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. I really don't want to throw this barrel right now, because for obvious reasons. Go away, please. Let me out. Thank you. So anyways, I've got to stop saying so anyways. I could probably do a compilation, but if I ever do make it big on YouTube, I could probably do a compilation of the amount of times I say so anyways. So they used practical sets when they were making the Netflix live-action One Piece, which, amidst the sea of soundstage CGI you see in a lot of shows and movies nowadays, was a really refreshing breath of fresh air. It was a major breath of fresh air. And I appreciate that greatly. Like, they made everything with practical sets. They built sets for the Going Merry, which is the Straw Hats ship. They built sets for the restaurant ship that Sanji was working on, whose name I always keep forgetting. Yeah, shows you how much of a filthy casual I am when it comes to One Piece lore. But all in all, the production design was really, really solid, and the bits where there were CGI were actually really, really good. The CGI was not terrible this time around. But I also appreciate the fact that they used practical puppets for some of the, and makeup for some of the non-human characters. Like the transponder snails, they had practical animatronics made, and for Arlon when he showed up, for Captain Buggy and Arlon when they showed up, they had practical makeup. Oh, and here's another Project Brutality weapon. It's the Black Hole Generator. It uses the same ammo as the BFG 9000, and its name is pretty much self-explanatory. It makes black holes. So anyways, so what was it? So they had practical sets. They did a really decent job of translating the shows over to live action by kind of like not going too over the top with the performances while staying true to the spirit of the characters. Like, you know Luffy is Luffy because he acts like Luffy and he has the same personality, but it's just not as, like, I guess, exaggerated as it is in the anime because, you know, you just can't do that well in live action. The CGI for Luffy's Devil Fruit powers is also really good as well. You know, like the actors and their performances are really, really, just really solid all around. The dialogue and the writing is pretty good, and they do a really decent So, basically, the first season of Netflix's One Piece, what it does is it essentially condenses the first arc of One Piece, which is the East Blue Saga, all of the arcs of the East Blue Saga, into one season. Like, they basically condense each arc into one episode. And it does a decent job without feeling too rushed. You know, like, so the first episode is, covers the arc where we meet Luffy meets Kobe, and they rescue Zoro from the Marines. And from, like, Axe Hand, and it also covers the battle with Axe Hand Morgan, and, you know, and I thought the guy who played Zoro did a pretty decent job. That being said, like, I feel like my one critique of his performance is that he could seem a bit too stoic at times, because there were bits where, in the anime and manga, where Zoro could be, like, Zoro was, like, is supposed to be, like, a stoic badass, but there were bits in the manga and the anime where he is exhibited to have a bit of a short temper at times. And I think they probably could have done a decent job with that, but, who knows, maybe in the second season. But anyways, so the first arc is the first episode. The next arc is when they meet Nami, and, well, no, they meet Nami in the first episode or so, and then the next couple episodes cover them meeting Usopp, fighting Kuro and his pirates, fighting Captain Buggy, who, let me just say, Captain Buggy's portrayal in this show was probably my favorite part about it. Like, that dude was straight up on a Joker arc. Like, he was doing some major "we live in a society" type dialogue in this season. Like, honestly, like, dude was on his Joker arc. And not only that, but they did some pretty decent CGI with in portraying Captain Buggy's Devil Fruit powers as well. And like, they made Captain Buggy a straight-up menace when he first shows up. Like he's doing some major, like, we live in a society Joker-type monologue. Hence why I say he's on his Joker arc. But, moving on from that, I really liked how they portrayed Captain Buggy. And I also liked what they did with Kuro as well, the cat pirate with the claws, who basically just wants to steal riches, and he kills his own crew in order to do that. And let me just say, they somehow managed to make Captain Kuro even more of a bastard than he was in the anime. Like, I'm not even sure if that was even possible, because he was just a major bastard in the anime and the manga, but they managed to somehow make him even more of a bastard this time around, which was awesome. Like, just really, really awesome all around. Then we meet Luffy, we meet Zoro, we meet Nami, we meet Usopp, and I did like how they kind of like, I guess, toned down Usopp a little bit. I like Usopp in the anime, although his like screaming can get a little bit on my nerves at some points. Which I know that's kind of within his character arc. He's supposed to be like a guy who speaks too fondly of himself and spreads tall tales, and it comes back to bite him on the back a lot of times. But they still have that. Like, he's still like telling tall tales, and it's still coming back to bite him. Like, and he's still lying about, oh, pirates are coming, pirates are coming. He's still kind of the boy who cried wolf story, but he's still Usopp. That being said, though, I felt like he didn't do enough in the times that he did appear in the live action. But hopefully he gets a little more action in Season 2 this time, when Season 2 comes out. But Sanji really, really was, I think, one of the best performances of the bunch, in my opinion. Like, because the guy who they have playing him is from Spain, and that kind of goes in with the fact that Sanji's so supposed to be this like smooth talking Lothario, basically, and let me just say, they got this. Sanji's first appearance in the show, in my opinion, is one of the best because, for starters, again, going back to the practical set design, the restaurant ship looks incredible. But not only that, they got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Craig Fairbrass, to play Chef Zeph. And if you don't know who Craig Fairbrass is, he's the guy who played Ghost in the original Modern Warfare trilogy from 2009. The original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in 2009. He also played Gaz in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. He played Sergeant Wallcroft in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 from the original trilogy. And he's just an absolute legend. And he does a great job of portraying Chef Zeph. Just absolutely superb. And they also got and it's in this section of the season where they actually do Zoro's first fight with Mihawk. And let me just say that is incredible. That is some of the best parts. That was one of the best parts in the show. They get it absolutely spot on of Zoro's fight with Mihawk. It was absolutely superb. And they also did a good job with Captain Shanks as well. Like, all in all, like I know it might seem like I'm making this out to be a groundbreaking masterpiece. It really isn't a groundbreaking masterpiece, but it's just a good show all around. And Netflix did a really good job of condensing the entirety of the East Blue saga, with the exception of Logtown. They haven't gone to Logtown yet. The season ends when they're heading off to Logtown to go off to the Grand Line. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the show yet, the first season ends with probably should have stuck that in at the beginning. I'll probably edit that in earlier. Basically, like, I can't talk. I can't fucking talk today. But so the first season covers nearly the entirety of the East Blue saga, minus them traveling to Logtown before they head off to the Grand Line. And well, for those who don't know anything about One Piece, basically, in the world of One Piece, there's pirates. And there's 4 major oceans in the One Piece universe. They are called the North Blue, the South Blue, the East Blue, and the West Blue. And it's a world filled with pirates. And one of the greatest pirates in the world is a guy by the name of Gold D. Roger, or Gold Roger for short. And Gold Roger was declared king of the pirates because he found, I guess, the most amount of treasure out of any pirate. Well, he was one of the only pirate captains to successfully circumnavigate what's called the Grand Line, which is the stretch of ocean that runs in the One Piece world's equatorial region. It's basically the One Piece's version of the equator, or the Bermuda Triangle, basically. It's like the equator meets the Bermuda Triangle, pretty much. And it's one of the most dangerous stretches of ocean anywhere in the One Piece universe because, like, for one thing, for starters, on each side of the Grand Line is a stretch of ocean that's basically doldrums, pretty much. And these doldrums pretty much... How can I put this? They basically... Essentially, they... Fuck, I'm lost. Fuck me. If I can't find my way, I'll probably just start over at the beginning of this level in the next video. But I'll keep talking about One Piece. But anyways, so you've got, in the One Piece world, you've got the 4 oceans: North Blue, South Blue, East Blue, West Blue, and then you've got the Grand Line, which is the equatorial region. And the Grand Line is basically this world's version of the Bermuda Triangle, pretty much. There's loads of weird stuff there. All the weather patterns are freaky. There's loads of giant monsters, and it's also infested with pirates as well. And Gold Roger was one of the only pirate captains. In fact, I think, as far as I know in One Piece lore, he's the only captain to actually circumnavigate the Grand Line. And while he was there, he found a treasure called the One Piece. And no one knows what the One Piece is, but it's apparently supposed to be like the crowning jewel of his treasure. And I keep falling down off of everything. Why? Anyways, so Gold Roger, he finds the One Piece, and he is basically unanimously declared king of the pirates as a result. And because of that, but Gold Roger, because he's a pirate, also happens to have a bounty on his head, and the Marines of the world government are always after him, but he always manages to evade them until one day when a Marine admiral by the name of Monkey D. Garp, who happens to be Luffy's grandfather, manages to catch him and oversees his execution because he's due to. Because he's supposed to be executed for crimes of piracy, because that's what you do with crimes of piracy. But anyways, right as they're about to kill him, they ask what his last words are, and he gives the lecture that's given out at the beginning of every episode of One Piece, which is wealth, fame, and power. I earned this and everything else the world had to offer. But then he issued out, right as they were about to execute him, he issued a challenge for any pirate captains and crews to find his treasure, basically. He said that he gathered everything together, including he ever found together, including the One Piece together, and it's hidden somewhere on an island somewhere in the Grand Line, but he didn't say which island. And his challenge to everyone was to basically try and find it. So he goes out, and so the Marines execute him, and but then all the pirate crews who witnessed his execution then decided to take to their ships and head off to the Grand Line to try and find his treasure and earn the title of the next king of the pirates. And among those is a young aspiring captain by the name of Monkey D. Luffy. And Monkey D. Luffy, of course, is the grandson of Admiral Garp, and he was mentored by Captain Shanks. And Captain Shanks was a pirate who lived in the village that Luffy grew up in. And Shanks basically mentored Luffy pretty much from a very young age, and basically raised him, because no one knows where Luffy's actual parents are. And Luffy decides he wants to try and become king of the pirates. He wants to go to the Grand Line, assemble a crew, and find the One Piece. And that's what the storyline is about. It's about Luffy, his crew, and their adventures trying to find the One Piece. Okay, man. There we go. And it's a really good story, but the Netflix live action does a really good job of adapting the anime into live action, because it does make some, even though it does follow the source material, it does take some liberties with it, but It's mostly liberties in the sense that they cut out a lot of filler and unnecessary expositionary dialogue for the sake of time, because One Piece, the manga, is like over 100 volumes long at this point, and the anime has been running since 1999, since the year I was born, and it's over 1,000 episodes long. So, like, if they were to follow the anime exactly, then the actors in the cast would be well into their 60s or 70s by the time the show was finished. And I don't think they want that. So they're basically going to condense... the first thing they're doing is condensing the storyline into something more digestible, which I think is a very wise decision. And so they're keeping all the necessary major story beats and cutting out all the filler, which is a very smart, creative decision on the part of Netflix. And they also made the even smarter decision of bringing Oda, the original creator of the manga, on board to consult and assist in the production process, and like assist in the writing and the set design. Everything has to get Oda's approval before Netflix goes through with it. So yeah, that's cool. And but all in all, like, if you are looking to dip your toe into One Piece, I can thoroughly recommend Netflix's live action as a really good stepping stone for you to dip your toe into the pool of One Piece. Because, like, given how the anime is over 1,000 episodes long and there's a lot of filler in it, it can be a bit intimidating to get into. But, you know, like, now, thanks to the Netflix live action One Piece, we actually have a really decent stepping stone for more people to get into both the anime and the manga. Now, the show does have its flaws, but overall, I'm very comfortable with recommending it. And this is coming from someone who hated the Netflix version of Cowboy Bebop with a burning and fiery passion. Like, I absolutely hated that show so much. Like, that show just did the legacy of Spike Spiegel and Cowboy Bebop so dirty. Hang on, I'm just gonna do an inventory on my weapons here real quick. Okay, I think I've got pretty much every weapon collected, and that I should just be getting the only the upgrades from here on. At least I should, anyway. Ah, frick. Come on. Speaking of Cowboy Bebop as well, I'm not sure if I talked about this in a previous episode or not, but I found out not too long ago that Shinichiro Watanabe, the creator of Cowboy Bebop, has teamed up with Adult Swim and Chad Stahelski, the director of John Wick, for a new anime series called Lazarus. And Lazarus is looking to be a kind of sci-fi action series, very Cowboy Bebop-esque, and in the sense that it's a sci-fi series, probably going to have a lot of emphasis on action synchronized with music. And the fact that that Watanabe is collaborating with Chad Stahelski, the creator and co-creator and director of John Wick, like, that says that the action is probably going to be like on a whole other level. Like, it is going to be on another plane of existence from everything else we've seen in terms of action anime. Like, I've seen the trailer that Adult Swim dropped for it, and it just looks superb. Like, the animation for it is absolute, and art style is absolutely gorgeous. The little bit of music they did have in the trailer sounds really, really cool, and the overall aesthetic of the sci-fi reminds me, I don't know why, but it gives me a lot of the same vibes I got from when I watched Neil Blomkamp's Elysium for the first time, which I really, really like. Like, even though, like, Elysium wasn't perfect, you know, it's still a good watch, and I do still recommend Elysium, because, like, the The world building is fantastic. The performances are really good, especially from Charlton Copley, and the action is really good as well. Hang on, I'm gonna switch to the BFG 9000 real quick. I don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna keep this guy equipped for now. Boosh. And but yeah, like Lazarus, from the overall aesthetic of the environments and set pieces in the trailer that I did see, it gave me a lot of the same vibes I got from when I watched Elysium for the first time. So that's really cool. Forgive me, I don't have a mouse pad. I'm literally playing this on my couch right now. I've got a lap desk because I don't have a lot of money and my computer is just an old potato pretty much. Yes, keep fighting each other, lost souls, please. Thank you. Let's get this Marine free. Switch back to the BFG. Going up. And kill all these guys. And hit this button. And bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. And I think that's going to be it for today. So, now that I'm back, I'm going to be going back to regular uploads. I want to say thanks again for tuning in, and if you got some spare time and you're looking to binge watch something, I recommend Netflix's live action One Piece. One of the first times I can actually unironically recommend you watch Netflix live action anime adaptation. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell. I'm your host, Willie B. Coyote, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!